Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. Happy Christmas to everybody. It is the day, 2 days after Christmas. I hope you've eaten well, stuffed your faces with those turkey sandwiches, and you've had a good, restful Christmas. And please, as I say, hit those like button, subscribe, and share if you are new. 301 subscribers. We've gone past that. We've done it before Christmas. We hit the 300 mark before Christmas. So again, a big thank you to those that have subscribed. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we have got a lot to talk about. The Christmas fixtures, thick and fast, loads of games, lots of injuries, lots of tired legs, some fixtures that we didn't expect, see some teams winning. So, yeah, we have an awful lot to talk about this evening. We're going to be looking at the game week 18 fixtures and some of the game week 19 fixtures. Some are being played tonight, yesterday, and our games, Chris, I believe it's Arsenal against West Ham, and I think the other game is Tottenham away to, who are they away to? I can't remember. I think it's Brighton. I think they're away to Brighton. So, those are the game week 19s and 18 fixtures that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the what's going on prediction league table. That has changed hands. Certain man's gone top. And we're going to be obviously looking at the what's going on fantasy prediction league as well. Hopefully we'll see some changes there as well. But listen, without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. Please hit that like button, subscribe and share if you're new. And let me bring on Mr. Big D and Mr. Kofi Klopp.
Yes, guys.
Won't have his camera on tonight, but is away in the lovely area of Anglesey. So I'll say no more. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to have you guys on again. I know taking away from your Christmas time, with the family and stuff like that. But listen, football still goes on. And I'm sure you've been enjoying a lot of football this week, especially you did yesterday with your team coming from behind and winning. We will talk about that. But before we go into the game and what happened at the weekend and the fixtures that are currently being played, let's ask you how you're doing, Big D. How was your Christmas? Did you spend it at home or did you go to a certain hotel and just chilled?
Man, we was chilling, boy. We was around the Shakespeare area, you know what I mean? So Warwickshire, Stratford, Kenilworth, Leamington, Spa. So yeah, we had 3 great nights. Well, actually, it's supposed to be 2 nights.
Okay.
And after the first night, Shannon was like, "Nah, I'm not ready to go home after 2 nights. I'm going downstairs and booking another night."
Oh,
so she went down to the reception and booked us a 3rd night. So
wow.
So we just came back today. We just came back today.
Okay, cool.
Enjoyment, man.
And then we went to the Midlands, catch up with the mums, and had one beast of a dinner at my mum's house last night. My Lord. I had to take her my fruit passport, you know them ones? Right, so I'm taking a fruit passport, mum, you know what I mean? I can't leave all that fruit. So it was good. It was a nice time to just chill out and recharge a little bit as well. Yeah. So being pampered in the hotel was brilliant. Yeah, because it just like
we've done that a few years ago when we went away with Jancy's parents and stuff like that. And we just booked into a hotel Christmas. Didn't have to worry about cooking any Christmas dinners or nothing like that. Went out to the theatre. You know, those are things like. But this year for me, more of a quiet one. Spent at home with the immediate family. Stuffed my face both days. Christmas Day and Unboxing Day. Some ackee and saltfish, you know, them way there.
You know that one there. That was the only thing is that I didn't do. Even though I bought it, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? I did a bit of baking, boy. The wrong cake come out nice, boy.
Yeah. You would have flicked some my way, bro.
You got some skills. You know what
I mean? And so I dropped some off at my neighbours. That the 2 neighbours that look out for me when we're away. Yeah. They were just like, "Yo, you got any more?" I said, oh wow, you lot. I said, listen, man, it's got to share up. You know what I mean? 2 cakes between 16 people.
Oh, nice,
you know what I mean?
Nice.
Stretch it out. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So the family got theirs yesterday. So some machiners lot will get theirs as well. So yeah, man,
Cool,
good. It's been good. So
Sweet. So, Mr. Kofi Klopp, how's your Christmas been?
Yeah, it's been a blessed one. I mean, it's been quiet, but it's nice just to be around my mum and brothers, and just to see all the various families up and down the country. But yeah, I'm just spending the next few days over in the Anglesey, as you said, and just chilling
near the coast, yeah,
exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, it's nice up this side as well. So,
wait, Coach, since you're at the top of the league and you're near the coast, you might want to go and do a bit of surfing.
Don't worry, it'll be nice to be sitting there, into the new year. And,
riding that crest, man. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see how the games go tonight, but definitely.
Well, we play tomorrow.
you and Tottenham play tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, we play tomorrow. So West Ham at home. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's all good. It's good to have you guys on. As I said, it's been a really busy Christmas period. Games are just coming thick and fast. Teams don't even have time to even breathe. Obviously during this period of time, you're going to find that fatigue is going to kick in, injuries are going to kick in. I'm even hearing today I just read about Romero from Tottenham, who picked up an hamstring injury. I think it was a strain.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Against Everton. So he's going to be out for 5 weeks. 5 weeks, about 5 weeks. That's what Angie's saying. And obviously, not Vicario. What's the other player? The defender begins with V. Is it? I can't remember his name.
Vertonghen.
Not Vertonghen. No, it's not Vertonghen. Oh, what's his name? I don't.
You're talking from Tottenham, right? Tottenham.
Yeah, the defender.
Van Den or Van something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
I was just reading about him today, man. I'll tell you my memories.
Long terms.
Yeah,
but it's a long term injury.
Vicario is the goalkeeper. Yeah. Vicario's Ez can't make it on today.
I just saw his message come through.
We'll be talking about your team, Chelsea. 1 billion spent.
And mash up.
Mash up. We will be addressing that. So if you can't make it on your own in the chat, feel free to talk about your team in the chat, because we will be going in hard on them. But if you do find the name D and the right pronunciation, please find it for him. But Van der Koor, I think it's Van der Koor, something like that. I think that's you got Vicario, and then I think it's Vanden, something like that. I can't remember his name.
Mickey Van der Ven.
Van der Ven, yeah. I knew it began.
Mickey Van der Ven,
yeah. But so he's out still till, I think they're saying until mid-January. Not only that, they're gonna lose like Basuma. Obviously he's got the 4 game suspension. He's into 1 game already of the 4 games. So, but he's gonna be away AFCON. Also,
for Mali, innit?
Sarr
Mali,
as well. Yeah, Sarr is going to be away as well, and Son.
Wrong.
Yeah,
going to Asian Cup.
Yeah, so they are going to be missing a few players. But then saying all of that, the last 3 games they have won. The Everton game, first half they could have, probably finished the game off. Second half, Everton came out. Looked a better team, got a goal back. I think they had a goal disallowed as well. And I think in the last sort of dying seconds or whatever, I can't remember which player hit the crossbar. Could have been 2-2, and Everton get out of that stadium with a 2-2 draw. But it didn't. It wasn't to be. They're only 4 points off top. So listen, they've done really well considering the amount of injuries that they have, and I'm saying a lot of teams have got a lot of injury. You only got to look at Newcastle with their injury, and it seems to be catching up with them. And I think we will touch on Newcastle one of the things that I want to speak about is that not such a good Christmas for the Magpies. 1 win in 5. Is Eddie Howe under pressure? What are your thoughts, gentlemen? 1 win in 5. They lost yesterday or the day before to I think it was yesterday to Nottingham Forest. Their ex-striker Chris Woods, banging an hat-trick against them. Trippier not having such a great start. I don't know what's going on with him. He's just kind of fallen off the cliff a little bit, and we saw that obviously they lost in the Carabao Cup. Was fought for the goal and missing a penalty against Chelsea. So it's not going too well at the moment for Newcastle and Eddie Howe. And I don't know how the owners are feeling about this whole thing. You know, last year, top 4, getting into Champions League. Obviously, they've missed now out on everything that's in Europe now because they didn't even make the Europa League. So I don't know what your thoughts are. Yes, big up, Chris Wood, a New Zealander. And that's Top Turk in the house in the future.
Big up yourself, man.
Big up to you, brother. So what your thoughts? Let's touch on Newcastle and what do you think is going to happen going forward? I know he's, as I said, Eddie Howe came out in his post-match and said, well, this will give me more time to train with the club. But listen, any club that's playing in the top 4, playing in Champions League or playing in Europe, they're going to have to now to manage that side. Yes, it's unfortunate that they've got 13, pretty much a whole side out, and he's had to manage that. But you can see it's really caught up with him. I watched Chris Woods when he scored his second goal, and I can't remember which player, if it was Shah, that was making a run after him when he scored the second goal. And it looked like they were just running in treacle. They looked really tired and off the pace. Losing the other day. Who did they lose to the other day to?
Was it in the Champions League?
No, not in the Champions League. They lost yesterday against Nottingham Forest. And then did they lose? Who did they lose against in game week 18? If anybody could find that game week 18, who did they lose to in game week 18?
What was it?
Got that open now.
I can't remember who it was. Who was it?
They
Luton.
Luton
1-0. Man, Luton are doing really well at the moment. Yeah, Luton 1-0. So what are your thoughts, gentlemen, on the situation with Eddie Howe and Newcastle? And how can they stop this rot going forward?
I think it comes to a point where the ownership asks themselves, how far can a certain manager take a club to a point where they need to push on into the next progression of making the club great and keeping that sustainable progression moving forward. But I mean, Eddie, hats off to Eddie. He's done such a fantastic job at Newcastle, and with the group of players that he has, is he that type of manager that will technically take them to the next level?
Big question. I mean, I don't know what you think in the chat.
It's what you got to ask yourself, because remember last week when we were talking about the Potter. I look at him like Potter, where maybe he's the guy before the guy, so he's going to get them to a certain point, and the owners will just say, yeah, we need a higher profile of manager. This is what I was saying last week, that just say, for argument's sake, like us, if we got a Potter, because we're just at that level right now where a Potter, he's always Man United, but I'm like, well, yeah, but we're not Man United in stature. And I look at Newcastle. Newcastle are probably in a similar boat where they haven't spent nowhere near as much as United. So I think he'll have a little bit more credit in the bank than even Ten Hag, because Ten Hag spent 400 million, and I know Eddie Howe ain't spent that kind of money. If he had, then that's a problem, because because what will happen is that the last year's success, as in obviously not trophy wise, but where they finished and getting the Champions League, doing what we did, just bombing out without even getting a Europa, even though I didn't want Europa, just me personally, but I think the club would have liked the Europa just to get that revenue still coming in with European football. So one would say he has credit in the bank, but the fan base is like they've got no patience now, and I think that Mike Ashley is at the fan base badly. So now they've glimpsed a little bit of the promised land. They want it all, so the fan base could force the ownership to say maybe we look in another direction. So it's a tough one for him. He's got to get some wins in this Christmas period for sure, even with the injuries.
But when you look at their next set of fixtures, let me just bring those up. So their next set of fixtures, and I think there's a couple of tough run-ins there. So if we look,
I think definitely.
So their next set of fixtures are, if I can stop bringing this stupid thing up. Let's go back to here. Right. Okay. So they've just lost to Nottingham Forest at home, 3-1. Chris Wood's hat-trick, ex-player. Their next game is away to Liverpool on the 1st of January. Right now, and then after that, they've got a home game against Man City.
Wow.
And then they're away to Aston Villa. Now, we know Aston Villa are good at home.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Newcastle, then they're at home to Luton. So possibly out of those fixtures, how many points do you see them getting from the Liverpool, Newcastle, home to Man City, Aston Villa, away, and then Newcastle, they play Luton at home.
Luton. Well, this what he probably doesn't get anything out of the Liverpool or City game,
right?
Just because he ain't got a squad. Even when he's looking down the bench to say, right, let me get some fresh legs on. It's not the fresh legs that are going to compete with City's fresh legs or Liverpool's fresh legs.
Yeah, because City have been away. City have been away at the World Cup. Who they've just now crowned with 5 trophies now. Absolutely take that out to them, and they're going to be well rested, really boosted to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've not had that pressure in terms of that intensity of the Christmas period. They've gone over there, chilled in a nice warm city, beating Fluminense and that other club. They beat the semi-finals. I think some Chinese club or whatever. They beat them, no problem. They now come. All right, obviously, Man City have got a tough game away to Brentford tonight, I believe. So we'll see what happens out of that. But as you say, you don't see them get anything from the Liverpool game.
No. Okay. Yeah. So they've got to pick up points against Villa.
Right, but they're away to Villa.
Even that was
they're away to Villa. Yeah, but Villa.
If they go to Villa and get a point, and be like, fair enough. If they go to Villa and lose, they may cut him loose before the Luton game, because you can't go to Villa and lose and then go to Luton and struggle.
So are we saying that? So are we saying that? So we're saying that a possible 12 points in the next 4 games, out of a possible 12 points, we're looking at a possible 4 points or 2.
Yeah,
because
four to be favourable, I think.
Yeah, I think if he gets 4, they'll say, well, he lost to City and Liverpool. So if he beats, just say he draws with Villa and beats Luton, I still think he's okay. I think the credit in the bank is okay. But if he loses one of those games, Villa or Luton,
but I suppose the other thing is as well, because they are losing by, they are letting in a lot of goals as well. And if Liverpool put a lot past them, and if Man City go to there and put a lot past them, this is going to where the fans are going to get a little bit, do you know what I mean? And I think this is where they might start to make up a bit more noise. And I mean, there was a little bit of discontent after the Nottingham Forest game, because the expectation was for Newcastle to beat Nottingham Forest. There's no way. Obviously, with them having their new manager, Nuno, and you can see with Nuno compared to Steve Cooper that Nottingham Forest look more compact. Because Nuno plays this counter-attack football, which he does very well. It doesn't work. It didn't work with Tottenham, because I think the type of football that he played, because he's very pragmatic. So he'll soak up pressure and do it. And the thing is, Nottingham Forest, I've got quick players. Surprisingly enough, Chris Wood's not quick.
Not quick, no.
I think the what's caught up with Newcastle is the amount of games that they've had to play in Europe. Obviously they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, and so with all of that, it's just come to one head, and it's pretty much caught up with them. You can see that the players look really, really tired, and I don't know whether they're going to go. I don't know if they're going to go in the window and try and see if they can, bolster the side, or I don't know if FFP is going to affect them, if they're going to allow to go and do it, if they need to sell players or whatnot. But from the last count I heard, they had about 13 players out.
Yeah, but they had Isaac and Wilson come back now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know we've just been easing them in gradually, but you know what? When you're up against it, you have to say to these guys, "There's no time to ease you in. I need your help." You know what I mean? So it's okay. Everyone's like, he's going to ease them in. They've been on long-term injuries, but they want the big money, man. When you're on the big money, once you say you're fit, I need you on there performing. Give me at least 65, 70 minutes before I have to tug you. And so he's going to need some of these guys that he's obviously honoured with contract extensions. He's going to need some of these guys to roll their sleeves up and getting some points on the board. Otherwise, for me, I think the fan base.
So, Kof, do you think it will be the fans that push this, or? I know that sounds crazy, because at the end of the day, if the fans push it, it's the owners are the last ones that are going to have to say. Or will the owners look at this and go, you know what, hang on a minute, look, we're missing out on Europe, and they want to be in Europe in some way, shape, or form, primarily to be in Champions League.
I feel the fans have a more sympathetic side in terms of how they look at Eddie Howe, but obviously, fans can turn on you like in a heartbeat, but it'll be probably more the owners looking at it and saying, how do we push on from here? Because obviously, we've the revenue of Champions League money, they would want to see that coming in on a regular basis. So then they would kind of probably have a sit down and say, maybe in the summer, let's see what the next step is.
All right. So if he finishes out the top four, say he finishes in the top six, doesn't get Champions League, but he gets the Europa League. I think if he ends up finishing 7th or 8th, I mean, where they're currently sitting at the moment, they're currently sitting in 8th place at the moment on 29 points, right? So so they are sitting in the Europa League qualification section, but you think the owners would want to probably see at least a Europa League or top 4, right? If he doesn't get any of those European positions, does he end up being given the Hevo in the summer?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel a Europa League place is still good enough to kind of keep the pressure away from Eddie, because you're still getting some money, and you're still having the football, European football. It's not going to be obviously Champions League, but you can then build yourself again, strengthen the squad.
Well, I mean, they're probably good enough to win a Europa League to maybe get themselves back into the Champions League for the following, the following.
But if you look at it, Norm, I think he's kind of now with the owners and the status. I think they have now fallen into the trap where you can't finish 8th or 9th and say we'll go again next season. It's not going to be acceptable for them, and that's the problem when you get owners with money and they start to invest in the whole infrastructure of the club, that they're going to look for European nights. Like, there's no excuses. So they have to qualify for, even if it's the Conference League, but they cannot finish the season and say we're not in any European competition.
They have to finish it.
They have to. They've got to. So Champions League, Europa League, or the Europa Conference League, and anything else, I think they can him, because what I feel is that they may go big in the summer spending wise, and then they might look at him and say, he's not the guy, he's the guy before the guy. And if these owners already, they're always going to be talking to managers, feeling them out, saying, right, this is a budget, these are the players we're looking at in the systems that we want to play. and you manage them. Because this is where we've gone wrong, where we're just spending money rather than buy the right players for the system. And Newcastle are well run, with the proper this director of football that they got, is a guy that been linked to us. Is it Dan Ashworth or whatever his name is?
Mm.
Yeah, so straight away.
Yeah, because he's there. Is he their director of football?
Yeah. And so you look at that and you say that there'll be no hiding place for Eddie. He won't be allowed. You see how Arsenal allowed Arteta the time. I just don't think he'll get the time just because of what went on under Mike Ashley. I think the fan base and anything around it just demands European football of any kind. I don't think they're being big-headed saying, well, it's Champions League or bust. I think the fan base will take Europa. They'll take Europa Conference as well. But if he comes up empty-handed and tries to use the injuries as a reason why, I don't think they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting key players coming back now in the busy period, you've got to start putting some points on the board. And the thing is, this is what I said. If the Glazers were ever going to fire Erik ten Hag, they would wait and look and say, mathematically, this guy cannot qualify for Champions League. Let's get rid, bring it interim. It's a whole rinse and repeat thing. But I think with Eddie, I think he has got probably more credit in the bank than Eric because he hasn't spent nowhere near the money Eric spent. So that's how you got to look at it. That if he just say he wins every other game, I think he's all right. I mean, I don't think he goes anywhere. But if he goes on a run of 3 or 4 losses, I think he
listen,
might come and start.
As I said, he's got some tough games coming up. Going into the new year, and if they can, I mean, obviously he says he needs more time with the players on the training ground. So hopefully
he's got to get them fit first, Norm.
What's that mean?
He's got to get them fit first. He's got to get
true, but the players, as you said, the players are starting to come back. In dribs and drabs. But whatever he needs to do with them, I think he's got to get them. He's got to get back to that situation where they were hard to beat. Because at the moment, they're getting beaten out. They're getting beaten away, and they're also getting beaten at home. Do you know what I mean?
They're getting run through, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's just too easy. So hopefully now, obviously, with them being out of Europe, you know what I mean. They just need to kind of reset, hit the reset button, go again, get whatever training method they need to get in place, and obviously try it and dig in and get through these next 4 games because they are going to be tough games, and then we'll see where we're at come after Christmas, and whether the fan base will stay patient with him, and also whether the owners will also stay back, with him as well. So, I mean, according to what you're saying, is that maybe they will, give him that chance. So we'll see what happens there. But let's just quickly move on to just talk about some of the games that did happen during the Christmas period. Crystal Palace at home to Brighton. They called that a derby game. Don't understand why. But you got Crystal Palace and then Brighton, who's about 50 odd miles away. I don't know the history behind it. I don't know if it's to do with the eagle and the seagull thing. I don't know what the history is behind that. But they draw that game. I mean, listen, Brighton are sitting currently in 9th place on 27 points with a goal difference of +3. And Crystal Palace are sitting 15th. Yeah, they're not. Listen, they're only 3 points. From the drop zone. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to be looking over their shoulder. They're on 18 points currently. And Jordan Howe, scores the first goal. I think it was an assist from Alicia. And then obviously Danny Welbeck, a looped header to make it 1-1. And that looked like the team that go on, because the first half Crystal Palace were closing them down, but then second half I don't know what happened, and Brighton looked like the more likely team to go on and win the game. It ends up being a 1-1 draw. I don't know what your thoughts on the game if you watched the game, or I mean, listen, Brighton need to be looking over their shoulder. They're not safe yet. Do you know what I mean? We've only, as I said, 18 points on the table. You got, they're only sitting 3 points ahead of Luton, who are in the drop zone. and 2 points ahead of Everton, who are on 16 points currently. So that was a 1-1 draw. We then go to, which was a bit of a shock result. Didn't expect that. And that's maybe where probably Newcastle may have a chance and go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa drawing 1-1 up to Sheffield United. And Aston Villa had all the chances, but just couldn't put it away. It ends up that Sheffield United
just hung in there, didn't they?
Yeah, gets the goal. Cameron Archer in the 87th minute. I think the guy was Gustavo Aima was the guy that provided the assist.
Yeah.
Only for Nicolo Zaniolo to get the equaliser in the 97th minute with Douglas Lee. So Sheffield United under with Chris Wilder now as their manager, I thought they would have got that win. I didn't expect that result, a 1-1 draw. But Aston Villa starting to, I don't know. I don't know if they're getting a bit ahead of themselves. You know what I mean? I know there was talk that they want to go for the title. I think Martinez came out, the goalkeeper said that, his manager said that they are going for the title. But
he's so arrogant now because the manager, he actually rebuffed that norm. He actually said, no, we are not title contenders. He said, we don't have the squad to be title contenders. So it just tells you the goalkeeper just smoking too much weed before he talks to the press.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, relax, man. You're putting pressure on your manager for no reason. Yeah. Just play your football. Because if Villa surprisingly...
So then why has Martinez come out and said that then? Because if the manager has come out and rebuffed that or rebutted that and said that, no, that's not the case. Do you know what I mean? I think in his post-match conference after your game yesterday, he was asked a question, what happened? He said, we're on 39 points. We're on 49 points. In other words, what is the problem? You know what I mean? He said a few weeks ago, I would have probably said, yes, Aston Villa are in a title race because they were beating teams. They were beating us. They were beating Man City. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they had this record before winning 15 games in a row, 16 games at home until Sheffield United come there and nearly got a win and it ended up being a draw. Do you know
what? They have the right to be in the position to smile with big grins on their faces and say, look, yeah, we're there. We're thereabouts. But obviously they know they're where they're going to be really in terms of how people view them as a team and where they probably will finish. But if they do make top four, wow, that would just be a new level of where Aston Villa.
Do you think they're in a position to make top four with how they're playing, or do you think they may drop out of top four? I mean, people were saying at one stage, they're on 39 points. If they'd won that game yesterday, they were 2-0 up against you guys. We will come to that game. They would have been on the same amount of points as Liverpool, only out because of goal difference. Would you have taken them serious with that? I mean, what your thoughts?
I would have, because obviously they've had such a good run, and to go to Old Trafford. I mean, at this stage where United are in terms of a team, and just to go up 2-0 and then play the game that they did throughout that game, I would have said, "Wow, they're really showing like what kind of team they are." So
it's on what Kobe's saying there. If they'd held on to that lead, then the media would have been pushing the title charge, because it's what they do. You know what I mean? But I think with Emery, he's looking at the squad and he knows that just 2 injuries to John McGinn and maybe Ollie Watkins and one of the defenders, he knows he hasn't got the depth to replace them and still bring the quality of football that he's got away with. So that's why he won't commit himself to that. You know what I mean? Because even when, remember when Leicester were doing that run where they're playing once a week? Even Leicester kept pushing it back, saying, "No, we're just."
Ranmiri really done well, because it just rebutted everything that
just
people
kept
said. He just kept them in check. He said, "If you want to come down, he took the pressure away from Leicester." And every week was thinking, when are these guys going to lose? When are these guys going to lose? And it was just like game by game. But I think nowadays the pressure is just so much, and I think maybe the pressure now has caught up with Aston Villa. And we go to the the game with you guys yesterday. That was game week 19. You look at that game, you're thinking 2-0 up. What's going on? Talk to me about that game.
We were an absolute disgrace in the first half.
And sorry, could I look at the contrast with that game and the West Ham game? Because obviously you went to West Ham and lost 2-0. So that could have been a situation where you hadn't scored in something like, it would have been 4 or 5 games that you hadn't scored in.
Games. Yeah. Right. If we hadn't come back in the second half, that would have been 5 games.
So you go to West Ham, lose 2-0 there.
Literally offer nothing at West Ham.
Right. So if you can look at 2 games.
And it's funny because I spoke to, I was doing my fantasy league at breakfast, right? Because I'm and it was 11 o'clock. And a guy walked past me, and he was sat with his family, a blended family, and he shouts over. He said, "You doing fantasy?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Yeah. I'm trying to get money while I eat my breakfast because we was at breakfast." And then he said, "Who'd you support?" I said, "United." He said, "Me too." I went to the West Ham game. He said, "I nearly tore my seat." He said, "I nearly tore my seat up." He said, "We were disgusting." And I said, "Listen, I'm watching it, and I'm saying, what am I watching here?" And then even pundits and stuff are saying, they're throwing a towel in. They don't. So when you saw the Villa game now, and before you blink, we're 2-0 down. I'm saying, wow, what are we doing? And so I didn't see any way back for it because I called it 2-2 when one of the guys on my other fantasy league group, he called me out and said, "Oh, prediction, Big D," and I said, "I'll take a Desmond because the way we've been playing, I don't see us getting 3 points." So whatever went on at half time, it did bring a spark. You know what I mean?
Was it the Ratcliffe effect?
Well, I don't know if he was there. No, did he walk down and say, "Listen, I am"?
Well, the thing is, he wasn't there personally, but I think some of his representatives were sitting in there.
Did he go to the dressing room and say,
he did a bowley.
Yes, and you look at that and you say, we again look like the away team at Old Trafford. I don't know how many times this season I've watched us and said, we're playing like the away team at home. Who does this? Like, mentally, that's what I'm saying. I still can't trust them. So as much as the people, we came back. I said, I ain't getting caught up in all that.
Varane came back for this game. He wasn't
the
West Ham game, but he came back for the. I don't know if it was cause of illness or what.
Apparently it was illness. Yeah, apparently so.
Okay, right, gotcha.
Martial,
what's happening with Martial?
God knows.
Okay, fair enough.
What about rumors that?
What about Casemiro? What about Casemiro?
No one's talking about Casemiro.
Oh my God,
this is a joke. This how poorly it's run that there's no updates. Malacia. No one knows what happened to Malacia.
What about Lissandro?
Same thing. There's no updates on these guys.
Wow.
And so, like in most press, and I don't really watch the presses because it's hard to, the press conferences are hard to find where they are to watch them. I'm hearing all the second-hand news, and they're saying that these players are not being brought up in the press conferences. The time that the journalists are asking the wrong questions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to answer them because he's very awkward when it comes to answering what he's been asked. It's always, but these are key players that no one's talking about. Where the heck are they? Don't know. Are they even in the country getting treatment, or are they back in their own countries doing that? The whole thing.
Listen, 2-0 down. I was thinking, this is it, mate. And one of the put in our chat was Ratcliffe finding, will he chop to stop the rot? Yeah, will he chop to stop the rot, or is it a kind of case Ten Hag is got another stay of reprieve with that comeback from? And it was a very good second half. You played well.
Second half.
But the youngsters again, Canacho, your best player. On that.
But again, performances from the youngsters to bail us out. Mino, Garnacho, and Hoyland. And Hoyland. Like, you can't be relying on them three to be winning you big games. You can't. They're the youngest there. They're the most naive there. They're the most inexperienced there.
I think that kind of has to be the way forward for United because, the experienced ones, they're just looking at it like we don't really care anymore. So
Kofi, where is my captain, Kofi?
I don't know. You don't have any
Where
leaders. You don't
is
have
my
nothing.
captain?
Just-
Because
just-
this guy, don't forget this guy
Listen,
bottled the
can I
Liverpool
just say
game.
one thing? Can I just say one thing? Yesterday, yeah, Bruno was going on with his petulant self.
I know, again, that's what I'm saying.
Embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing.
And I'm just like, bro, stop the moaning and just play football. It's another bad decision by Ten Hag again with the captain's armband. It's just like Harry had to lose it.
One thing I'll give Ten Hag, yeah, I don't know why he didn't play Eriksen in the West Ham game. Why he didn't start him? He started him in this game alongside Maino and Bruno in that kind of 8 position, because Bruno was like up and down, and you had Eriksen kind of dictating where you had
but this is the thing, right?
Creativity there. Do you know what I mean? But in that West Ham game, there's no creativity. McTominay, come on, man, the guy can't string 2 passes together.
But no, this is my thing, and people will think I'm wrong with this, right? The only position I want to see Eriksen playing with no legs is in the 10. Right. So I don't want him playing in a double pivot. He cannot play in a pivot with because all you're doing is leaving Kobe, an 18-year-old kid, exposed, all because he won't drop Bruno, because that's what it would take.
Right. So was Bruno playing that 10 role yesterday?
Yeah, that's what he always plays. Yeah.
Oh, so
and so he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be part of the midfield, right?
Yeah.
And there was a point in the season where Ten Hag was making him sit in the pivot, and you could see how frustrated he was. But I thought he did better sitting. So I would prefer that you sit Bruno with Kobe and let Eriksen play in the 10.
Yeah, because Bruno does work hard. He's got the legs to get up and down.
So you don't.
Whereas Eriksen sleeping with that number 10 role.
Yeah, I want to see Eriksen on a double pivot.
Nah.
He just ain't got the legs for it. So he's got the feet for it and the brain for it, but not the body. Yeah. So you found that Kobe did a lot of work yesterday. Yeah, that's unfair on the 18-year-old.
That's why I think in the end, he gassed out and he had to bring him up.
Yeah, exhausted.
But then, do you feel that Ten Hag's formations are kind of getting the players fed up, because some of them they kind of don't suit?
Yeah, and this is what we were saying about when he started playing Harry, and we couldn't push up because Harry doesn't recover well with the ball. Evans recovers better than Harry, which is mad. I'm sure Evans is older. He's older than Maguire. So I look at that, and I just think, and I think this is my problem, is that we as the fans see what we think is natural. As in, I'm never playing Eriksen at this age in a double pivot with a young coming minor. I'm saying, well, if I got to play him, he's got to play in the 10. But this guy our manager doesn't see that you're hurting us and you're burning out a young player that's supposed to be just playing like 30 minutes a game as he's bedding himself into the squad, not playing until he's gassed out and you pull him in the 75th or 80th minute. It's not what we're supposed to be doing with Kobe Mino. You're going to burn him out by the time he's 21 years old at this rate, doing that. And I just think it's almost like, remember when Ollie was playing for his life? This is what Ten Hag is doing, playing for his life. So he's just like, yeah, this has to work. Yeah. And he's putting pressure on these youngsters. Now, remember I said a few weeks ago, I'll just burn it all down and keep them 5 youngsters and start again. Obviously, Kobe Mino, Haaland, and Garnacho are 3 out of 5. And because I'm watching too many seniors not show up. Like, he took Rashford in the end. And I just thought, Rashford probably had one of his bets again.
There's a couple of times where he threw up his hands in the air because he didn't get the part or whatnot. And I think the commentator kind of sort of made a point about that. He shouldn't be doing that as a senior player. Getting a strop.
Norm, this is a taste of his medicine. How often has Rashford and Garnacho
linked
and Anthony? How often have they shafted Højlund? Where Højlund's there, nothing comes in the box for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Surprisingly enough, on all the occasions where, because there was 2 occasions where I think Garnacho was off, and Rashford was the one that played the pass. Rather than being greedy, he's looked up and he's played the pass. And I remember you saying is that if you're gonna if you're going to make things work, then feed Hoyland, because if you look at the stats, he's, in terms of the striker, the least amount of passes, service.
Yeah.
And
you
remember
remember
the strikers in the Premier League. So yesterday, get that goal, the relief. Okay, it came off a ricochet off of one of the keepers, not the keeper, off one of the players, and he hit it with kind of maybe with the I think it was with his shin, and it went in. And the relief of getting his
because I think he's been. You know when a man just frustrated, it's like where you're showing up for work and you know that I'm showing up for work and it ain't gonna happen for me week after week, game after game, and you know the way he was screaming, you're thinking, mate, like calm down. But I get it. Like his head was just like, thank God for that. Something's actually broken.
But do you think he pushes on from here, Cole? I mean, do you think he pushes on, or is it a kind of case of, well, look, they win this game, you know what I mean? I don't know who their next game is against, or will it be the same old, or revert back to type, or what?
Where are we away to Forest? I think we're away to Forest.
It could be a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, and so, but it's like as you know with the strikers, when they've gone barren like that, and they get one, they suddenly relax a little bit and stop snapping at chances. So I'm hoping that this one just takes that huge stress that you could see he was under it. Yeah. Every time he got subbed, you could see he was fuming with himself.
Yeah,
thinking another game, I ain't got nothing out of this.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, I'm living off scraps. So he knows he's got to take advantage of the scraps.
Yeah. And to be honest,
in the Liverpool game.
And to be honest, that goal that he scored, that wasn't even a pass to him. It came off.
Yeah, exactly.
It came off an Aston Villa player, and he just was in the right place at the right time to
and
put
the thing
it away.
Is, I was actually at my mum's yesterday watching it on my tablet with my older brother David, who's a United fan. And I was telling David what I said to you guys, that I would put him out on the right wing. This is Hoyland, just to get more touches of the ball and build his confidence up of getting some space where he's not out crowded and being.
And who do you play up front?
Rashford or Martial, I don't care. One of them.
Well,
I'm gonna buy the bullet.
Huh?
Yeah,
bro, the way you said that, you sound like so disgruntled.
I don't care. I just think we can't shaft this young kid. So if he just looked at it and said, because Wenger did it, like play him out wide, let him get on the ball a bit more, build his confidence up, and then when you need him to play through the middle, he's got a lot of confidence of getting the ball and doing what he's doing. But when he's not getting no service and he's just making the runs and getting beat up, mentally it's hard to keep doing that week in, week out. Now he's got the goal. And remember I said as well, leave Garnacho on the left and leave Rashford on the right, even though they want to leave them there. Make them cross with their best foot, which is their right and their left in the case of Rashford. But because Rashford can't cut in and shoot with his left foot, I'm glad. I don't need that from him. I'd rather you skin a man and hit one with your right foot.
Go to the byline,
yeah.
I mean, I'm finding that with a lot of the wingers now, because even the same thing with
one-dimensional, man.
Yeah, it's just what they're going to do. They double up on them. They cut back, and so you want your wingers to beat their player, which you don't see a lot of wingers doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because even
when you had that guy who I think he went to Fulham, the Welsh fella, Danny. What was the guy that you bought from?
Oh,
I'm talking about. Little
yeah. The Welsh striker, I forget.
Yeah, but
the Welsh
he was a winger. I can't remember his name is. What his name is? But he little short fella, but he was always trying to beat
pacey. Pacey,
very pacey.
But he would always go to the flank.
Yeah,
at least try and put something across.
Yeah,
and I actually don't mind that. He knows he wasn't Man United levels, but you never saw him slacking when it came to effort.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't the quality we needed.
Yeah.
He never stopped running until he got subbed.
Is he with Fulham now at the moment?
No, he's gone somewhere else. I'm sure he's gone somewhere else.
He gone somewhere else?
I can see his face, I can't.
Yeah, little short guy, Welsh guy.
Yeah, Welsh winger.
Was it Danny? Was it Danny? Was his name Danny? I can't remember his name. Danny something. If anybody knows in the chat.
And I was talking about him. I'm sure he brought up his name last week as well. because that was one of our highest transfers when we sold him.
Yeah.
Then that's how bad we are at transfers. That he was one of our highest transfers in terms of fee that we got for him. And but he never stopped running, Norm. And what he did, he wasn't cutting in to shoot. He was always trying to get down to that byline and get something across just to make the goalkeeper nervous or someone running in.
I wish our wings would do that, Martinelli. And
it's
they always keep cutting back, you know what I mean? And then the players work them out, and you know what I mean? It just becomes frustrating.
Yeah, the predictable football player. Yeah. Remember I was telling you about in the basketball terms where if you could make a left-handed layup as a right-handed player, you just sit you on the bench. You'd be like, good to me, man.
Yeah.
You got to learn to use both feet. And you imagine if Rashford could play on the right, cut in and put one off his left foot laces, top bins. Everyone be like, he's a bad man.
Yeah.
Because they're giving you both options. But he can't. He can only, on the left, cut into his right foot. It's too one-dimensional. You're not going to win big trophies when you got your forward players like that. Yeah. And how often they lose the ball.
The thing is, as well, when a left back or right back don't know what you're going to do, whether you're going to cut in or go, that's the problem. But if you're going to always keep cutting in, they can read you, and then you get marked at the game. Do you know what I mean? And not only that, most teams are putting 2 or 3 players on them. So do you know what I mean? It does really become frustrating. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But with all that said, and Man United from behind to win that game 3-2, a stay of reprieve for Eric Ten Hag. But my question to you is, with all that said, with Ratcliffe coming in, does he chop to stop the rot? Does Eric? Obviously, he looks like he's going to get a stay of reprieve. Does he end up, keeping his job for the rest of the season, or do you think the owners might get a bit if fixtures and results don't go the way they go in the next games? Right. Do you think we might get tetchy fingers and say, you know what, bro, we can't keep going on like this? Or is it a case of you go to the end of the season and see what happens and then hit reset button and go again?
Well, if we're believing what we're reading in the media, Norman, the media are telling me that this is going to take about 8 weeks to get done properly. Right. It takes us into the first week of March.
Okay.
Is it really worth firing him in the first week of March? Because the transfer window's over and we're in the back end of the season. So he stays till the summer. If he does get fired, Sir Jimmy's paying his compensation, not the Glazers. Trust me on that one.
Okay.
So if Sir Jim wants him gone, you're going to have to speak to Ineos and say, I need to fire this manager. I need a compensation package from Ineos, because United and them Glazers are not going to fork out another 20 mil or 80 mil or whatever it is to get rid of him. Yeah. That's what I strongly believe, that it would be Sir Jim's money, because remember the way they've done this. When I read parts of the agreement, that money, that 1.4 billion, whatever, Sir Jim dropped there,
billion, yeah. What's this going to be invested in? What is there?
Well, it's not going to be invested.
No, okay.
No, because he's bought the Glazers shares, and whoever had he's gone half and half, hasn't he? So whoever had the last of the Class Day shares and whatever portion the Glazers were selling, that money's gone to them.
Right.
Then he's talking about a 240 million pound investment
into
between the stadium and Carrington. It's not enough.
So we're not going to be seeing any players bought in
transfer-wise. If anyone comes in January, it's going to be another long thing again, though. I don't see us doing any physical...
Unless you look at...
Unless it's Ivan Toney, and they say you can have Ivan... If they said we can have Ivan for 50 million and they'll take Martial, then I think they might do that deal.
Yeah. Do you think Ivan's going to want to come to United?
If he's given assurances,
it's a broken setup at the moment.
No. If he's given assurances,
what did you say?
I said it's a broken setup at the moment.
What is it? What? Hear me out quickly on this then. Just hypothetical. If Ivan comes, and what I suggested about playing Haaland on the left as a starter, Haaland on the left,
Ivan,
my guy, Ivan through the middle,
yeah,
and you make Rashford and Garnacho fight it out, and then you play Ericsson in the 10, and we're more creative. I think we score goals.
Okay,
and if we're scoring goals, then we can try and outscore. Because our defense hasn't been that bad. I think the goalkeeper's been problematic. That makes the defense nervous. By then, you're hoping that Alessandro comes back. We're just hoping that some key players
to be honest, I'll tell you who's done well for
after
you
the
guys.
January window.
I'll tell you who's done well for you guys, and that's Johnny Evans. It's surprising enough.
Exactly, Norm.
You know what I mean?
Johnny
boy.
Here's Johnny. It's just, and those that don't know the story, Johnny was out of contract. He got cut loose by Leicester. As a person that's won it all with United, he reached out and said, "Can I come and train, keep my fitness up until a club comes in for me?" And he never left. That was it. He came to train and never left.
He's been one of your standout defenders.
I can't even knock him, Norm.
And I think that comes
you
with
guys,
a lot of experience.
want to bring back Jones as well?
Sorry?
You guys want to bring back Jones as well?
Well, I actually thought Jones was a part of the academy thing, the coaching thing now. I'm sure I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
that he's actually back as a under 17 coach or something like that, defensive coach with the under 17s.
Wow.
So Jones never really left either.
My God. Well, listen,
it's a club that keeps them giving them, even to the retired players.
Definitely. So basically, the likelihood is that Ten Hag stays for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah,
we see,
and they'll reassess. Because
the other thing is there talk about Ratcliffe buying the club within 3 years? I heard.
That's what they're talking about. Yeah,
is that something that's realistic? He's got if he doesn't hit certain targets or something like that.
Well, this is the thing.
I'm hearing something like if he doesn't hit certain targets, then I don't know if that means he can't get the club or what. I don't know what the setup is or the agreement.
Well, when I looked at the research on him, he can afford to buy them out.
Yeah,
but he has to buy them out in stages rather than all in one go, like what Jake Yassine was suggesting. So, if any of us is saying to him, take your time and buy them out over the 3 years, I think it happens. Whether I like it or not, do I trust the gym? I don't know. But I think if he says he can buy them out in 3 years, I think he has the money and will generate the money to do that. But in that process, what do we look like structurally? If all the people that they're saying, Paul Mitchell, if they're all coming in, then I'm cool to sit back and say, okay, we've got some serious footballing people on the football side of the business. I don't care too much about the commercial side because I don't understand all the intricate deals that they do. Because whenever you see a Man United press conference and you see all the sponsors behind, you're thinking, what in the world is going on here? There were all these sponsors. But that's what they do. Commercially, they do their thing. They make the deals, whatever it, brown envelopes, whatever it does, it does. I ain't care about that. But if I know that Ten Hag is accountable to a proper footballing scout and a director of football, where he can't go and spend another 400 million like he did on players that don't fit the system or really are just Dutch level players, then I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Sir Jim doing that over the 3 years.
We'll see what
happens. I'm not quite sure.
I think for you is just, as he says by your name tag, UFC glazes out. So if it happens in 3 years' time, you should be a happy bunny. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. They have to go. For me, they have to go. And he's saying, Norm, he's not going to take any dividends either. He said he doesn't believe in it, which is interesting. Because I'm thinking, the money you make at Ineos, and you don't believe in dividends, that's kind of interesting, but we'll see.
Listen, I think we've got to let this, play out. We'll see if they put their money, as you say, where their mouth is and see what happens there. But let's quickly move on to the Liverpool-Arsenal game. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. Kofi, your thoughts on that game? Obviously, we had a conversation before the game started. You FaceTimed me and we were sort of saying, what do we expect from this game? Will it be a 1-1 draw? Could it go either way, 2-1, either way? Arsenal, in my perspective, we start off, quite quick on the front foot. Within 4 minutes, we get a goal from a set piece, which what VAR checked it. We could see that Gabriel was on, and you think, okay, let's try. And the problem with Arsenal is we need a striker. We need a striker, full stop, because our front three are not clicking right now in terms of, or being clinical in terms of score goals compared to last season. We had Martinelli on 15 goals, Saka on 15 goals, or Martinelli on 14, and Odegaard on 15 goals. That's like nearly 40 odd goals. Yeah, 45 goals amongst three of them. I think with all three of them, I think between them, I think they've got 5. I think, is it 2 or 3, 8, 10. I think 10 goals between the three of them. Not good enough for a club of our stature, and that's why the questions of what we're going to be doing in the January transfer window. We need to go in. Our talk is that we need a midfielder more than a striker. No, we need a striker. There's talk that we're not going to sell Eddie Nketiah. We need to sell Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, he's our second, the joint top goal scorer in our club with 5 goals. We've got to do better than this. Cole, for your assessment of the game, I know there was some controversial stuff in there in terms of penalty shouts. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, the first 15 minutes, I felt Arsenal were dominating us, and we just couldn't we got penned in, and it was as if we were the away team. And there were times where, like, guys like Szoboszlai, they're just losing the ball anyhow. And I'm thinking, you're a good enough player to get hold of that ball and, just keep possession for a little bit, at least for a good 5-minute period. And then it was just wave after wave of attack. And I kind of thought Arsenal, they got their first within the first, 4 minutes?
Yeah. From a set piece.
Yeah, and I thought they're going to go again. But, luckily we kind of found our way back into the game. And this is the thing with Liverpool. At times in games, it takes us about half hour to get going,
Yeah, and not only that, missing a lot of chances, taking your chances. It's very similar to us. I'll say your strikers are slightly more clinical than ours because you've got more potent attack than ours. But still, for the attackers you have, you would expect more goals.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
that's what you would expect more goals.
I feel as if we were relying on Trent also a lot to make a lot of the creativity, but whereas Szoboszlai was he was misplacing passes throughout the game.
And he's kind of dropped off a little bit, hasn't he?
Well, he scored a lovely goal the other day. But obviously his form has dropped off, so we kind of are relying on it, and I feel Harvey should start a lot more.
Yeah, Harvey had it. Yeah, for sure.
He had goal disallowed yesterday against.
Plus Kofi, you're getting Jota back as well.
Well, he came back. Yeah, he came back yesterday.
So if you look at both feet, I think Jota's your most clinical when it comes to scoring with both feet. So I think that's almost like a new player.
I'm kind of glad that he played in that game because
you know what I'm saying.
Jota does tend to score
right, and
so
so
I was really surprised when
I saw that
in that game.
Him coming back, I thought Jota's back. That's a problem.
But then
as in a good problem for Liverpool, bad problem for other players.
I think Diaz has kind of. I mean, he's had so much going on
outside
over these last few months. So the confidence has kind of been knocked, and he has been in distress. So man, it's hard for him because the Diaz that I was seeing at Porto, we haven't really seen that, to be honest.
Yeah, and then the injury as well to him as well. He hasn't come back the same. So the injury and off-field stuff that was going on, outside of that with his family. Thank God, his father's back safe and well and the family. So I think it's going to probably take a time for him to get back to those levels. And not only that, with you losing Salah in the January to the AFCON, you're going to have to stop. The likes of Nunes is going to have to step up. It's good that Jota come back in at the right time because obviously you're going to lose Salah after the FA Cup game where you play us at the Emirates, and then he's going to be away until early February. So Jota coming back. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again. But Diaz, Nuno is going to have to step up. Gakpo going to have to step up because they're not really banging in the goals as they should. You know, it was a good goal against Burnley yesterday. Nuno getting that goal. And when he does,
I think Nunes should stick to long range goals because
because when he doesn't have to think about it, he scores. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to think about it. He scores. So we'll see what happens. And I mean, in that game as well, you know, looking at the ref watch, there was one we want to sort of look at is the and I if it was me, I'd be crying for a handball. When Odegaard supposedly slips, and he went to break his ball. He happened to break.
That was murky, no?
Very murky. And I couldn't believe it. When I saw it after when VAR looked at it and they said, VAR checked it and it's gone. I couldn't believe it.
But no, remember last season where I can't remember what defender fell over and almost dived like the goalkeeper and pushed it away. And we were like, whoa, what are you doing? And the VAR bottled it. And this reminded me of that one. Then I started laughing. I went, I just saw that.
Yeah. Sorry, Clive.
You know what? If the referee had given the foul on Havertz, I mean, that would have been a total.
The thing about that, Cole, anywhere else on that pitch, it's a foul.
That's the thing, because I personally thought that Trent was going to get a booking as well.
Maybe he thought to himself, the referee probably to himself, you know what, I've just made a boo-boo there, whatever. And it was a clear push. It was a clear push on Havertz. Anywhere on that pitch is a thing. I can't remember if it was a game in the game before. I can't remember what game it was. That push wasn't even as bad as the Havertz one, and they gave a free kick. So I'm looking at that thinking, again, VAR inconsistency as normal. We're always going to get that. Do you know what I mean?
But if you look at our game yesterday, he went to VAR for all three of our goals, and I'm thinking, what are we doing here? He went to VAR for all three, and I just said, nah. It stinks. It reeks of corruption. It really does. Because I expected one of them to get chalked off. I did know, because we've had nothing from VAR. So when all three came back good, I'm like, wow. You can see Tenago losing his mind on the touchline. What do you mean going to VAR? You can see him going nuts at the fourth official. And I'm saying, he's got a right to be, man. They scored their goals, no problem. The moment we got an equaliser, he goes to VAR. I said, nah, what's going on here? It just, it's not right, man. And you can't take it seriously. And I feel bad for the players because they can never celebrate properly now because it's like he's going to go to VAR. Even though I know that I stayed on side and I'm clear to go, he's going to go to VAR because whoever's in his ear is telling him, it's banging out, you're going to go to VAR or whatever. But that he might as well just dived and palmed it away, no, because he would have got away with it. Yeah, ridiculous. I think it's already killed the game, in my opinion. I think it's already killed the game.
Yeah, but that game, as I said, it ends up with us going into Christmas for the league. But then, as I said, Liverpool then go away to Burnley and win that game. But though, again, as I say, Cole, because people don't take their chances, a couple of times, Burnley could have got in and scored. And they got a player that plays on the left for Burnley. I think his name is Trezor. Very, very skillful player, mate. And I'll tell you, a couple of times he was rinsing up what's his name, Trent and the other defender. What's your other defender's name?
Gomez.
Yeah, not Gomez.
Gomez.
Not Gomez. It was,
no,
he was goal. It was Alexander Kwanzaa.
Oh, Kwanzaa.
Yeah. A couple of times I see the guy from Burnley. I mean, do you know what? I wouldn't mind him at Arsenal. Tricky player. He's not a starter, but he can come on and cause problems. He's very direct, very skillful, and he was causing a lot of problems. Problem with Burnley, they're just open and they play too many risky, passes out from the back. Do you know what I mean? And that's why, they're sitting second from bottom.
And,
they're going to end up going down. Do you know what I mean?
It was a game that I
I felt that if we take a 1-0, let's just take it. And
but you could have the first half. You could have. I mean, if it wasn't for Trafford in goal for Burnley, you could have been 5-6-0 up.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but you just weren't taking your chances, and it nearly happened on a couple of times where they could have equalised. Do you know what I mean? They would have won the game, but it was only that Jota got that last goal. I think it was in injury time. I think on the 90th minute he comes on.
Yeah,
he wasn't on long, and I think it was after 6 minutes he puts the game to bed, and that's it. So what I mean, with that win, you go top of the league, 2 points above us. We play tomorrow night. Hopefully, we should beat West Ham, but they have got a couple of dangerous players like Paquetá. They've also got Jared Bowen and Kudus. You know what I mean? Those are the players that we got to watch out for. But I think we've got enough. Big up to you, Calvin. I think we've got enough.
Yes, Calvin.
To do the business against them. But yeah, we get a 1-1 draw. And I think fair enough, you know what I mean? We go again. But Man City, they've got a couple of games in hand. As I say, they play Everton. They play Everton tonight, so we'll see what happens concerning that. I do expect Man City to win, but you never know. Let's see what Everton can do, because Everton are under a little bit of pressure. Team on 16 points, only 1 point above the relegation. So, they did go on a little run. Obviously, having 10 points deducted. They managed to, get some of those points back, but they need to really start kicking on from here. And then I just wanted to quickly touch on the Chelsea game. Chelsea go away to Wolverhampton. The defending in there was absolutely abysmal. Abysmal defending from Chelsea. It's currently 0-0 against Crystal Palace after 12 minutes. That's they're playing now. Everton City kick off at 8:15. But Chelsea, when they played on Boxing Day, not Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, they go away to Wolverhampton. 2-1 winners. And Kunku gets his debut goal. But in injury time, but Wolverhampton outplayed them. The defending Chelsea was absolutely ridiculous. And the thing about Chelsea, and I just kind of want to bring up this. Where is it? Some questions that really need to be answered by Chelsea. So let me just find this one here. Right, so guys, as you can see, Chelsea ending a woeful 2023 with Mauricio Pochettino's side facing more questions than answers. Listen to this. Chelsea have lost 19 Premier League games in 2023, with only 3 sides losing more top-flight matches across Europe's Big 5 leagues this year. Blues have spent more than $1 billion on new players in the last 3 transfer years, but lie in the bottom half of the table. And then if I go to this bit here, he goes, again, in the analysis of yet another underwhelming Chelsea result and performance at Wolves on Christmas Eve, one statistic was particularly eye-catching, and it's kind of repeating the same thing. In 2023, and he names the teams of Almere, Werder Bremen, and Employee are the only ones that can beat that number. So with Chelsea, that kind of money, absolutely ridiculous. 1 billion spent in 2023. They won 19 games. That's mad.
And they said that we got problems, Norm.
I mean,
it's
so
and here again, I've still heard no talk of is his last. It's a must-win game. I'm not hearing this about Chelsea. Like, every time we play, it's a must-win game for Ten Hag. But why is it not a must-win game for Poch? It's nonsense.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the Chelsea fans that want him gone.
Is he under pressure?
He has to be, Norm. He has to be. Now, some will say he never spent all that money.
Mm.
As in, these are players that were bought for the system.
Today, if he loses today against Crystal Palace or draws, does Bowley say, look, this just cannot go on? Because they've got a load of young players. They've got 3 or 4 players in there over the age of 25. That's Reece. Thiago's 38, going on 39, I believe. Yeah. What's their other? Chilwell and Sterling.
Right.
4 players. The rest are all under 25. And one of the things about players those players are young. They're going to be consistent.
Yes, exactly.
I think they've received the most yellow cards, in the Premier League because of petulance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nico Jackson,
exactly.
for one. I don't know how many
Tito.
he's got. But
Tito,
you
know
what I'm saying? 1 billion spent, and they're sitting. They're sitting currently 10th in the table on 25 points. That's live as we speak, because obviously, if they lose this game, they drop back to 24. But as it stands,
and no, man, I'll see what Calvin's put there, right?
Oh no, Chelsea. No, sorry, tell her Chelsea scored. It's 1-0 to Chelsea.
1-0,
and Mudryk, Mikhail Mudryk.
Wow.
So is that his second goal now? Is that his second goal?
I think so. But as I saw what Calvin put there, that would be my question to Ez. Did Todd Bowley jump the gun on the Tuchel firing? Because I think he screwed up there.
Right.
I think I thought egos got him fired rather than he was a poor manager.
Yeah.
And like Calvin said there, he's been in free fall. They've been in free fall since Tuchel's gone.
Mm.
So you look at it and say there was actually no need to fire him. Like, if you guys can't go and have a beer and just get some stuff off your chest and move forward, then what are we doing in football?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think that was a stupid. And I'm sure Ez would agree that there was no reason to fire him. But here we are. So now I can't even feel sorry for Chelsea, because you've allowed these owners to go and spend money, and because remember I said to Ez in the summer, he's become the owner and the director of football at the same time. And I thought, who's your chief scouts? Who's scouting these players?
Yeah,
and I get when you say, oh, dude, we're buying for the future. I get all that, but the fans ain't trying to hear that. The fans don't want to be seeing you in 10th place or 11th place or whatever they are now. And so, as much as you're saying, we're buying youngsters, long contracts for the future. In the future, when all our squads get old, Chelsea is going to be peak, allegedly. But if it doesn't happen, then what? You know what I mean? It's all, we can say potential, but I think the money in the game doesn't always allow you to rely on potential that's going to come good in 3 years' time. No one's trying to hear that. And as much as, like, even with us, we got to be patient with these youngsters and get rid of some of these old guys that are just not it.
Yeah.
So we may have to say, okay, we finish and play Conference League because everyone else is way better than us. That's above us right now and more consistent. That's the thing. We're not consistent, no. So sometimes we got to just swallow our pride and say, take off the rose-tinted glasses. We're Man United in name and structure and stature, but on the field, we're just a mid-table team. And I think we've had some lucky wins this season that has allowed us to be where we are now. Without those lucky wins, we would be further Chelsea, if not.
I mean, with Chelsea, where do you think they will finally finish from the end of the season? They're currently sitting 10th at the moment on 25 points as we speak. That's the live table.
Bring the table up now.
The live table. They're sitting 10th at the moment.
10th. Yeah.
They can stay sitting languishing in the bottom half.
Well, the thing is, last season they finished? Was it 10th last season or 11th? Or was it 12th? I can't remember. Last season. I don't know if anybody can remember.
I think it was 10th, no?
Last season.
Yeah,
so after spending that money, go again. 1 billion spent in 3 transfer windows, and they still sit 10th. Unbelievable. So when do you think? I mean, with that money spent, where do you think they end up? That's what I'm thinking. Where do you think they end up finishing at the end of the season?
Well, the thing
Because
is,
they're gonna have more downs than ups, I believe.
right.
Because the youngsters
So
that
if they stay this inconsistent, I think they stay around 10th or 11th or 12th. Yeah. I don't see them pushing into that top 8 to get Conference League football.
I mean, if you look
I think they need Europe this season. After not being in it.
Well, look,
next season. Sorry, after not being in it this season.
I mean, listen. Look.
10th don't get your Conference League, Norm.
They've got a chance of winning the Carabao Cup, yeah? But the likelihood is that they could obviously face Liverpool
right
in the final.
So, Norm, if they, just argument's sake, they win the Carabao Cup against a team that finishes in the top 4, that puts them automatically into the Conference League, right?
I think so. I think if that might be the case, yeah.
Because United, because both Uniteds, us and Newcastle, finished so poorly in the Champions League, we've lost our 5th spot now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we lost our 5th spot. So the only way they would qualify if they beat a team in the top 4 that is going into Champions League, and they would replace them. I think replace them in the Europa Conference.
So, I mean, listen. You look at this Chelsea, who've won Champions League, Europa Leagues, won numerous amounts of Premier Leagues. You can see how the mighty have fallen after Roman has gone, and they've gone down this new route with Bowley, buying players on long-term contracts, young players. They don't want players for the here and now. They want players like that can develop into great players. But as you said, how long have Chelsea got? Because the fans, are they buying into this? Because they used to sack, get a result, results, win things. At the moment, you're sitting 10th. You got a chance because obviously I think they will beat. I think they've got Fulham. I believe is it Fulham, or is it Liverpool? Got Middlesbrough, and I can't remember who's playing who. I think Middlesbrough play Liverpool, I think.
What's that? Is that the quarters?
So we're playing Fulham.
Liverpool play Fulham, and Chelsea play Middlesbrough. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. Don't write off Middlesbrough because this is a big chance.
I'm about to say if Middlesbrough do them,
and is those legs played over 2 legs? It's played over 2 legs. The semi-finals, aren't
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
So again, you know what I mean. That's an extra game that. Especially
you've got to go to Middlesbrough and perform.
Liverpool need an extra game. So listen, it's going to be interesting, but I think the final will probably be likely to be Chelsea and Liverpool in a final. So this is their chance of trying to get some silverware to kind of salvage their season. But as you say, if it's going to be an up and down season for them, the chances are they're going to probably still finish around about that 10th, 11th. Or probably 8th. I don't think they get into top 6. Not with the points that they've accumulated so far, and only winning 19 games in 2023 after spending £1 billion free transfer window. That is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
But it's what I said yesterday. Even that comeback win, Norm, and scoring 3 goals to come back and win for us, we still got a -4 goal difference. In game week 19, Norms.
Don't score enough, man.
-4. I mean,
don't score enough, man.
And then Chelsea what? So they're playing.
Chelsea on 25 points. Now. So they're only 6 points behind you. How many points? 33.
31.
No, how many points? You're on 31 points.
31 points. Yeah, 31.
Right, so Chelsea only 6 points behind you.
Exactly.
Considering the season that they've had,
and they've got a better goal difference. I'm telling you, man, this league is.
You can't write this. You can't write
this. Yeah. The league is.
You can't write this, mate. You know what I mean? Poch is now under pressure at Chelsea. Cooper shouldn't have been sacked. Do you know what? Listen, the owner has given Calvin. The owner has given Steve Cooper a lot of chances, but I think, listen, it's early days under Nuno, but I look at Nuno and you can see straight away that this team look more. The way they're stroking the ball around, they look like they were playing with some sort of kind of formation and structure. I didn't see that. I didn't see that with under Steve Cooper. It looked a little bit kind of haphazard, but under Nuno, who's an experienced manager and plays that pragmatic counter-attack football, and you see what they did against Newcastle. I'd never expected that result at all. So listen, at the end of the day, it's unfortunate, but I think that if he had carried on with Steve Cooper, I think Newcastle, Nottingham Forest would have only be going in one direction. That's my personal opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's my personal opinion on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Kofi, big up yourself, man.
Big up yourself, man.
You have to do it. Yeah, man.
You take it easy. We are going to be showing the what's going on Premier League prediction table in a minute. So we'll come back to that in a second. So just coming back to it, Calvin saying an open Premier League. Yeah, definitely open. We'll see what happens tonight with Everton and Man City. If Everton can hold them to a draw, because we need to create a bigger gap, enough gap. You know what I mean? But listen, last season it was 8 points clear, and we still couldn't do the business. So, and they've got a game in hand. Man City have got a game in hand. So it's going to be a tough ask for Arsenal. But it's important what we do in the transfer window. I think a team that goes out and does the right business in the window. So, for instance, Liverpool, if they go out and do the right business, getting a centre half and getting another DM, I think that's all they need. They've got enough attacking threat up front. So I don't think for Arsenal, we need an outright striker and another centre mid. Well, whether that happens or not, we'll see. FFP is what's been spouted out that we can't go and buy anymore. We'll see what happens there.
Well, you're looking at so City have played until kickoff coming now. They've played up to game week 17.
Yeah, they've got 2 games in hand.
2 games in hand, right? And 34 points.
Yeah,
with a plus 20 goal difference. So
that's what I'm trying to say.
So if they win both games, they could leapfrog into second or third. Depending on results tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they'll be on 40 points with, I'm going to assume, at least a goal difference of maybe 24 or so.
Yeah.
Or 25.
It all depends on tonight. It all depends on tonight. I mean, Goodison is a rocking place. We just got to hold that. You know what I mean? I don't know if Haaland is back for that game. I'm not too sure if he's back for that game.
Apparently he's not, you know.
He's not back. Okay.
Apparently, that's what I'm hearing today, that he's not back. You know what Pep's like? Pep always says that, and then suddenly you see him.
Yeah. Obviously,
see him running out in it.
De Bruyne started training, but I think De Bruyne...
Has he?
Yeah, De Bruyne is back in training because he was training out in Abu Dhabi.
And that means you probably won't see De Bruyne till maybe like 3rd week of January, something like that.
Yeah. And if that's the case, I think Haaland would be back before. And I think, you know, and I don't think they even lose any players. I think they've got any players going off to any kind of African Cup of Nations or anything like that.
Nah.
So they're going to be good. Do you know what I mean? But
I'm
Arsenal,
looking at that squad there.
Yeah, I've looked and I'm sure they haven't got any players. They haven't got the players going off to any kind of club game or anything like that.
No, it looks like he buys a type there. You're right, Norman.
Yeah.
They're either South American or they're European players.
Yeah. So listen, we'll see what happens. Let's see what Everton can do tonight. They can upset the apple cart and keep them adrift of us. Do you know what I mean? As I say, we got to do our bit tomorrow night at the Emirates. Yeah. Hopefully we will. So let's just quickly, last we're going to do now is if you want to just, I'll just share what's going on prediction league, fantasy league.
Right.
And oh my God, Del Grady, he's still up there.
Yeah, he's still up there. Obviously, this is what we're seeing now is game week 19 incomplete. So this is where we are so far.
Okay, right.
These are what people have scored so far in game week 19. So so you can see that literally the top 5 have stayed put really.
Okay.
And my guy Phil has just jumped into the 1,000-point crew on 45 so far in his game week 19. So he's 66. But from Del Grady down to me, we've all kept our positions so far within game week 19. You see that Scott, Sean, and Ez have all dropped.
Okay.
With Andy staying in 10th.
Right.
Malcolm X has moved up. She's moved up 2 spots so far.
Oh wow!
So she's
I don't know if she's in. Show.
Yeah, she's 11th. Yeah, yeah. She's 11th at the moment on 943. She's scored 32 points so far in game week 19.
Let me shout her to find out who she knows. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got Kofi Norm, who's in a little bit of a free fall, but he does have quite a few players to come in, as in to play, as in today and tomorrow. So he may flip that. But yeah, we've still got from Scott down to the bottom that are still in the 900s. So we need all these guys to be getting into the thousands by the end of game week 19, and then we'll see where we stand there.
We'll see what happens
next week.
Because obviously next week, when we do the table, which I'm going to bring up now for the prediction table, we'll be looking at game week 20, which will include game week 19. Yes. But as you say, if I show you game week 18, let's just quickly bring that up now. There has been a change in leadership. And here we have.
Oh, that was Chili, right?
There you Chili go. Dog. Right, let me make that bigger. Let me make that bigger. Right. Okay. So you can see that.
Yeah.
So as you can see, Chili as jumps up because
he's got that only green, man. That precious green.
Yeah, 2-1. He said against Everton. So he puts him into first place on 15 points with me in second on 13. Kofi. None of us got any points apart from Lee that week. And obviously, we've done game week 19. We've done our predictions for game week 19. So come next week, Wednesday, people, we will see game week 20, including the predictions for game week 19. So we will see how we've done concerning it. But as you can see, Chile is jumped up to first place. And I keep saying to my son, put Big D in that place. This guy, because I know you spotted it, that you... Kobe's got more reds than you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just won't listen. You know what I mean? But you can cut him when you see him. You know what I mean?
I got 2 reds to Kofi's 4.
Yeah. So in terms of form wise, you're doing better than Kofi. But Ez sitting in that 5th place, I don't know how he catches.
And the thing is now, it's like there's already a gap there with us, isn't it? With that 5 point hanging off there, you know what I mean?
Everybody's pulling away. He's proper, like, you know what I mean? He's gonna have to, but he keeps going for Chelsea. He keeps going for Chelsea.
He does, yeah. And he can't go for Chelsea to lose because that looks proper shady. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So he's got to go for them to win.
Obviously, he's gone for Chelsea to win for game week 19. I'm sure. I can't remember what he put in the chat. What did he put in the chat? Let's have a look quickly. What did Ez put in for game week 19?
I was just going back to Wednesday to see what we dropped in there.
I know.
Yeah. He put 2-1 Wolves.
You all right?
Yeah.
He put 2-1 for Chelsea to beat Wolves.
Yeah.
What did he put in? What did he put in for game week 19? Because that was game week 18.
Yes, you're right. No, game week. Hold on, where is he? Game week.
Because I know Chili's been getting in his predictions really early.
Yeah.
Game week 19. Now, where is it?
I'm looking at Saturday. Can't even sit.
Where is it? Man, I can't even find it.
It would have been Saturday that we did that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
We got way too much stuff in the chat, you know. My lord.
I'm I can't see it. Oh, where are we? Oh, here we are. Yeah, he's got Chelsea 3, Palace 1.
Right. And you see my madness here. I went 2-1 Forest, and Newcastle got slapped at home.
No puts you game week 19. So I don't know
got 3-1.
Obviously, game week 20 is at the weekend, so we'll see what happens there. AFCON injuries disrupting Spurs first team. Yeah. Not only that, Cal, you've lost Romero, your defender, for 5 weeks. Yeah. And obviously you've got your other defender, who's not come back until the mid January. And Maddison as well, probably back mid January. You've got Basuma off to African Cup of Nations. You've got Son off to African Cup of Nations, and you've got Son off to the Asia Cup. So you're missing a lot of players in January. But anyway, Ange Ball rules, mate. Ange Ball rules. So hopefully, can it be another repeat? You go on another 5 game where you lose, and then when they come back, you pick up again. But we'll have to just wait and see. You may have to go into the market. I heard that you're linked with a couple of players in January, defender, and possibly a striker. But we'll see what happens there. But will Daniel Levy do that? Will he go into the market and spend?
It's not what he likes to do, is it? It's not what he likes to do in the January window. So it'll be interesting to see the way that goes.
See what happens. But yeah, so listen, it's been a good show. I know there was a lot of people in the chat this week because listen, during this Christmas period, everybody is coming back from a weary, tired, finishing off their turkey sandwiches and whatnot. You know what I mean? But listen, the show has to go on. The show has to go on. I mean, you have to keep the people giving out the content. It's important that we carry on giving out the content. But listen, we go again next week with game week 20 predictions, and we'll see what this week pans out with the rest of the games of game week 19. The weekend brings. It's gonna be an interesting December and January. And I just want to see who we get. As I said, I don't think, as you said, D, I don't think you're gonna be buying any players outright. It probably is gonna be looking like loans.
But then even loans, Norm, I'm like, who's out there? Because they're talking about loaning a striker to give Haaland some help. I'm like,
but who? Hey, question, right? Question.
What?
Would you take Dominic Solanke? Listen to this.
You know what, Norm?
Listen, 12 goals, and 1 assist in 18 games, 19 games.
The way we don't have any money, but the thing is, we'd have to buy him. They wouldn't loan us to him. No. Now that would have to be a buy.
What do you think, Bournemouth? If just say you had the money, what do you think Bournemouth would sell him for? If they did
in the middle of the season,
yeah,
about 70 mil now.
Wow! And what old is Solanke? 26.
Something like that. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you buy him in January, you would overpay for him.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's like
yeah.
And the thing is, as well, you have to remember as well, Norm, as we've seen in the past, that coming from Bournemouth to the Theatre of Dreams is a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
and the freedom he plays with at Bournemouth.
To be honest, last season, it was last season, he only scored 3 goals in the Premier League. So he's having a purple patch at the moment. He's doing well.
Right.
You get him in a team that creates. So if you had him in an Arsenal team, I would probably play him as a second string. I think he's better than Eddie. I think he's better than Eddie. Yeah, he's big, strong. Play him as a second striker, like coming off the bench, but still go out there and go and get a top class striker. I don't
know if you would agree.
Solve our striker problem. We'd have to go again in the summer. And I know we're linked with Victor Osimhen in the summer. That's probably why we're not going for a striker per se this January. But I'd love to get Ivan Toney. Let's do the business. Let's try and go in there, trying to do some arrangement with Brentford and try and get that deal over the line. Because I think if we don't get that deal over the line, I can understand.
And the thing is, Norm, and this sounds ruthless, if he's willing to sacrifice Eddie, which I'm not sure he is, but if he's willing to sacrifice Eddie, then then you maybe do that deal, as in Eddie and some cash.
I'm hearing that Arsenal don't want to sell Eddie. Why? I have no idea. They don't want to sell him. Why?
Fair enough.
Why?
But I'm saying
if a deal could be struck between Eddie and Brentford, then let's do it.
Do the deal.
We're not Arsenal. Arsenal are not serious when it comes to, if we want to win the league, Arteta should be going to the owners and say, "Come on, guys, we can." Listen, I'm sure you can come up with some way of getting around this so-called FFP. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to do it,
and that's what I'm saying. But it would mean sacrificing a Eddie Nketiah. I think that's how you get around it.
Yeah. The thing is, with Solanke, to personally speaking, Calv, I don't see him going to any top 6 side. That's the person. I mean, he was originally playing at Chelsea and they let him go. I can't see him going to any top 6 side. He could go somewhere like let's see, because Brighton have got Ferguson and who would he fit?
Probably someone like West Ham. And I'll tell you why West Ham, right? It's because what's name's always injured. What's his name?
The
black guy.
I know you're talking. What's his name? Guys, we're getting old, Brad.
I know, mate. I can see his face as well. I can't think what his name is, but the main striker at West Ham, the black Jamaican brother, he's injury prone. So I think someone like West Ham would suit him.
Yeah.
And I think he comes to Old Trafford, the pressure to basically the same pressure that Haaland's feeling. I think Solanke would feel it 10 times worse because he's been in the league. Yeah. So the expectations would be even more on him. Yeah. So
Mikel Antonio, that's who it is, Mikel
Antonio, there you go. Yeah. So I think West Ham would be a good fit for him. But if he moves in the window, you're looking at 65, 70 million now. Which is kind of...
As I said, he's only 20. I think he's only 26.
Because we played that for Haaland and proven. Yeah. And like you say, this guy could be going for a purple patch at Bournemouth where expectations are just super low.
Yeah, he's 26 years old. He's 26 years old.
Yeah. So just say you had a Harry Kane who was teaching Haaland, and then you also brought in a Solanke as a backup to the backup or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that's where I would say, okay, let's see what this guy can do when we need him. You know, like basically super subs where you're not trying to burn out your main striker.
Yeah.
Because remember, the big teams always, when they're winning titles, they've always got 3 and 4 strikers. City was probably the one that broke that kind of trend with the false 9 thing. But before that, anyone that was winning had 3 or 4 striking options to win a title. Until City did this whole, he was just part bit in playing Aguero until Aguero moved on or retired, right? But
listen to this. So, Wolverhampton are 3-1 up against Brentford away.
Get out of here! Really?
God, I know. Wolves.
I'll tell you what. See the prediction league, Norm.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest it's been since we started doing prediction leagues.
Wait.
Because every week you're seeing something, and you're like,
I'm thinking,
I didn't see that coming. You're not seeing results coming at all.
All right, so these are the people that and they beat Wolves beat who did they just beat today? Chelsea. Yeah. So they've just got a result at home, and then they've got away to Brentford, who are not an easy, team.
Before half time, and all these 3-1 up.
Lamina,
Chelsea won it up.
Howe,
you told me that. Yeah.
Howe Chan has got 2 goals in the 14th and 28th minute, and then
I nearly put him in.
Wisa got back in the 16th minute, so it's 3-1 as it stands.
Yeah.
Let's look at the table. I'll tell you what. O'Neill he's doing a real good job with them. Wolves sit currently on 25 points with a minus goal difference. minus 5 goal difference. Only
And
one.
City game's going to start now.
One less than you.
Has he?
No, because you Wolves have scored 26 goals. Oh my Lord. Wolves scored 26 goals, so you're 21 goals.
Says it all, doesn't it, mate? Says it all.
Mad.
I'm looking at this Man City lineup now. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. He started Alvarez up top.
Right, so is he not even on the bench? Is he on the bench?
He's earning on the bench. Nope. No, he's not on the bench, mate. No.
Wow, this could be a chance for.
I heard he wasn't. I heard he wasn't ready. I heard that yesterday.
Yeah, because he's got a bruise. Is it like a bruised bone or something in his foot or something?
Yeah, in his foot. Yeah. So because he didn't feature in the cup thing, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't.
So
yeah.
So
the table. Listen, I'll tell you what, D. When you just before we go, I mean, when you look at the table, right. So from top, in terms of points separating, top, you're only talking 6 points, because Tottenham have got a game in hand because Liverpool, on 19 games. So if Tottenham win their game tomorrow away to Brighton, they'll be on 39 points. That'll be 4 points off the top. Yeah. So
but no,
it's tight there. Then Man City on 35. Obviously, they're playing now, so they've got on 35 points as it stands because they've just kicked off. So,
but as shocking as we've been, Norman,
you're only 4 points behind,
and 11 points behind Liverpool, top of the league. Yeah. It's not like where I remember last season when it was a point where we were 16, 17 points behind the leaders.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, this is mad to watch. Obviously, yesterday's resurrection really got us out of jail.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, us being above Brighton, Newcastle, and West Ham and Chelsea is quite a shocker.
Yeah.
In the way we've been inconsistent.
We've been playing, yeah.
Yeah, so you look at it and say,
you would hope that Ireland pushes on from this, that this will give the team some sort of confidence going forward. Yeah. So listen, your next game, I believe it's Crystal Palace 1-1 now. Chelsea just can't hold on to a draw. Do you know what I mean? 1-1. Let's see who's
I'm sure Ez is matching up his TV there.
Michael Alisi.
Alisi.
Yeah. In the injury time.
I rate him, Alisi and Eze.
Yeah.
I like them too. But it's the same thing.
He says on the bench. Let's see if he's on the bench.
Is he injured?
No, he should be on the bench. Oh no, he started. He started him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he started him. Yeah. He wears number 10, didn't he? Yeah. So I'm saying they're the two I would take from Palace, and maybe Anderson as well. I quite like Anderson as a defender.
He's very good with his feet.
Yeah.
Playing out the back and
if I was going to smash and grab, I'm taking them three from in a rebuild. Because remember, Alicia and Eze are young. I'm taking them young players. That's what I'm saying. Burn the house down. Keep them 5 youngsters and start buying youngsters like these two, and getting them into the mold. Proper director of football, proper scouting, and we play a system. We become a system team.
So as it currently stands, at 1-1, Chelsea have dropped back down into 12th place on 23 points.
Chelsea.
So
Chelsea.
That's what I'm trying to say. If they lose this game or draw this game,
that's a problem, isn't it?
It's a problem for Poch. It's a big old problem for Poch. It's a big old problem. But people, I know there wasn't much people in the chat, but listen, we got to keep going. As I say, content needs to be done. When you're what's the word I'm looking for? Committed to doing things like this, you can't let the people down, and they're looking for it every week. So listen, it's only once a week, and we appreciate for those people that were in the chat or watching but didn't put anything in the chat. Please, as I said, hit that like button, subscribe, and share if you're new. And really thank everybody for supporting us throughout the year. Because obviously the next time we do this show will be, I think, the which will be the new year. So, you know, we pray God that we get into 2024 safely. And we just want to thank everybody that supported us throughout the entire year. For those people that
big up yourself, guys.
Big up yourself. You know, that has got us over that 300 subscriber mark. Really appreciate that. And we keep going. As I say, we're on a very tiny channel, but we love what we do. We love talking football. And we want to thank people like Ez. We want to thank Chili. We want to thank Kofi Klopp. We want to thank JP.
JP.
Who else have I missed out? Is there anybody else I've left off?
Nah, not me, man. I'm good.
Big thing.
I'm just happy to be here, Norms.
Listen, you know, I'm talking about the people. But my thing, I mean, biggest supporter. You know, what I mean, I really appreciate you're there every time without fail. And I really
man. That's all good, Norms.
So listen,
happy to grow the channel and thing, you know already.
Thank you very much, man. And big up to everybody that has contributed throughout 2023. We go again in 2024. Come on, the Arsenal. Let's try and win this title for the first time in 20 odd years. Come on, let's do this. Please, again, hit that like button, subscribe, share, and we are out of here. Take care.
Out. Take care, guys.
Yeah.